There's, of course, in spiritual circles, all this talk about freedom, liberation, and I wanted to talk a little bit about, I guess, a simple, very direct way to experience freedom, to recognize freedom, freedom that's here already. And there's this term, I first heard it in Tibetan Buddhist tradition, Dzogchen tradition, which I'm not any sort of expert on, full disclaimer. But the expression is freedom in immediate perception. And my understanding of that term is, well, it's exactly what we're experiencing right now, which is this immediate perception, which is all we have to work with, so to speak. We're going to investigate reality of this. We have this that's being perceived, right? Our immediate perception now. And maybe the most astonishing thing about perception, the perception that's here right now, is that it has no, contrary to pretty much everything we think about perception, about experience, those are, I could use those words synonymously. We could say freedom in immediate experience is the same thing as immediate perception, but contrary to how we tend to hold things and what our language systems so strongly imply, is that experience or perception has some kind of enduring nature to it. But just look right now at perception and notice that, as they also say in the Tibetan tradition, phenomena, that this perception liberates itself as it arises. It's free. It self-liberates. Not because we did something to liberate it. We did something to, notice it and then just let it go its own way. And it goes its own way. It self-liberates. Just feel that, how this current perception is liberating itself, freeing itself, letting go of itself. No sooner than it seems to be here. It's just freed. Freedom in immediate perception. All of our thoughts, which we often think of as problematic, or at least sometimes think of as problematic, they're phenomena, and all phenomena self-liberate upon arising. Every thought, nothing is here for any time, actually. Very curious, because it sure as hell seems like things are here for some amount of time, right? That's the whole world. That's the world that we experience. The world of all these forms, all this stuff, all these phenomena, the display of life. And here it is. There's no denying the presence of this. But if we feel, we are feeling, but if we just give a little attention to what we're feeling, the aliveness and the dynamism of this, the non-static, unstable nature of this perception, it's, if anything, if we're going to describe it as anything, which is ultimately impossible, it's not, it's a flowing, it's a movement, it's not stopping, actually. It doesn't actually become something fixed and formed, even though we talk about it like it does, and it kind of seems like it does in some sense. Just feel, experience, feel what's here, and notice that it's impossible to stop it from freeing itself, from liberating itself. Let's see. It's 10 minutes after 10 my time, so 10 minutes ago. All that was here 10 minutes ago has liberated itself. It is no longer here, is it? Right? Gone. 9 minutes gone, 8 minutes, 1 minute gone, 1 minute ago. 30 seconds ago is gone. 10 seconds ago, gone, right? 1 second ago, gone. How long is this perception here for? Gone. Gone. It's beyond fast in terms of how quickly it's, in that sense, it's not here for any time. The sense of a kind of a timeline certainly exists in one sense. We have this sense of the moment being sort of stretched out over time, don't we? Where there's some sort of breath to it, which is how I can speak to you. And it's not just like it's like there's something here, my speech overflowing over time, right? In a sentence that I speak, or several sentences that I speak. But it's strange because what's actually being encountered, what's actually here right now, it's just here for no time whatsoever. Has no, it's just gone. Feel the immense freedom of that nothing is remaining, that nothing is fixed, that nothing endures. We think about, difficulties, and we talk about things like letting go of those things that are troubling us or bothering us, or letting go of what was. Reality has already let go of each instant, already gone. That's what I mean when I was talking about how they say in the Tibetan tradition, everything self-liberates, everything lets go of itself. It's letting go of itself right now, isn't it? Nothing needs to be let go of because it's in the nature of this to free itself. It is pure freedom. There's not things that we could ever be stuck in because everything self-liberates upon arising. So how is it possible to be stuck anywhere? And of course, we are also not static, and whatever we are is self-liberating upon arising as well. So it's just this absolute freedom of everything. What's here can't bind us because it's here for no time. Just feel that, the absolute letting go of each instant. You have this wonderful expression also, I first heard it, I've only ever heard it in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, of the describing of this self-release, they say it's like analogous to writing your name on water. What happens? You write your name on water, and it's like so my first name is John, of course, and I'm like starting to write John, right? So I'm making the line on the water. I'm drawing the letter John, like cursive letter. And as it's being created, it's being destroyed, isn't it? That line, literally. Wait, is it being created or is it being destroyed? It's the same thing. The creation of that thing I'm writing on water is disappearing as it seems to be appearing. So does it ever really appear? No, it doesn't ever really appear. But the magic show of reality is there the analogy for how we tend to perceive reality, the analogy doesn't quite work because it actually looks like something is here that's solid and fixed, including our subjective experience. We talk about that as if it's actually here just as much as the so-called external objective world, right? That it's got a certain continuity and enduring nature to it. Not like a line drawn in water. No, it's actually here. But we only know the world of experience, the world of circumstance as perception, right? We perceive that. And the perception of the world, what we call the world, the subjective or the objective world, the perception of it is just like drawing a line in water. It has no continuity, has no duration. It's no small thing. It is the thing. It is the thing to recognize. Feel the freedom of that. Absolute freedom. The whole kind of game of me, the practitioner, that I'm going to sit and let go of experience and not hold too tightly to my experience is fine. I mean, to play that game, I mean, and I don't even mean to diminish its value to call it a game, but just to say that the larger context within which that sort of practice is occurring is itself just constantly releasing itself, just constantly. It's actually there's actually not anything here, even though there's most certainly something here. The great paradox. Something that's here for no time and yet looks to be here for time, right? But our immediate perception, as I was saying at the outset, is showing us revealing to us that this has no duration. I mean, try to grasp hold of now. Try to grasp hold of your perception, so that you can like hold it and look at it and observe it and notice it and define it and make sense of it. I mean, all of that, we would argue, logically speaking, takes time to do, doesn't it? To recognize it, identify it, name it, label it, think about it, dwell on it, worry about it, all of that. But it's already gone, right? Isn't it? It's incredible. Like a line drawn in water. It's literally what we're feeling. We're feeling that, you could say, that ungraspability of the moment. The way in which it's slipping through our fingers faster than we can imagine. Already gone. What's here can't bind us because it's here for no time. In that sense, it's not here at all. Looks like it's here. The things we imagine bind us, but they're not here for any time. They're mirage-like. They look like they're here. Most certainly. No denying that. We talked about this last week, I think, and I'm highlighting very much a similar sort of theme, that this freedom that I'm talking about is completely, really outside of the notion of time. It's so strange, though, because there's this, at the same time, this feeling of this constancy, like this sense that something's always here. Isn't it odd? Always here, but ungraspable. Always present, but unfindable. Constant, but no continuity. That's the dance of form and emptiness. The form, the presence, the positivity of this, in the sense of it's here, right? Undeniable, palpably here, concretely here, something's here. But go to find it, and it will elude you like a receding horizon. In that sense, unknowable, unfindable, and yet always here. Pure freedom. And you don't have to say one last thing, and then we'll just open it up, for conversation, that you don't have to go anywhere to sort of discover what I'm pointing to, because it's your current immediate experience, what's being perceived right now. So you don't have to look for any kind of special perception to find this vanishing, ever dissolving moment. It's this moment. Gone. Already gone. It's funny, isn't it? Like, to see that way in which birth and death are the same thing. from this standpoint. The birth of the moment is the death of the moment, and the death of the moment is the birth of the what we might call the next moment. Well, wait a minute, is this moment right now being born, or is it dying? It's both, isn't it? In that sense, you can't say, is it birth or death? It transcends birth and death. Reality. Isn't that beautiful? Transcends that duality. Can't really say what it is, once again.